Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about writing inequalities in interval notation. So far we've covered symbols for inequalities, so we know what x is less than 5 means. We also know how to graph that inequality on the real number line. We put an open circle at the 5 and we shade to the left. When we switch to interval notation, we're going to turn that open circle into a parenthesis. I want you to notice this parenthesis is open in the direction of the shaded area. You can think of the parenthesis as a stopping point for the numbers in this particular inequality. The reason it's a stopping point is because we want to write the numbers that satisfy the interval from smallest to largest. So the smallest, pointing over to the left, means we're coming from negative infinity, but we are going to stop when we get to the number 5. Our interval is parenthesis, negative infinity, comma, 5 parenthesis. Anytime we write an interval, we're going to go from the smallest number to the largest number, and then we'll change the end as either being a parenthesis or bracket depending on the type of inequality we're given. In this inequality, we have x is greater than negative 2. In the graph, we see an open circle at negative 2, and then everything is shaded on the right. This time, the open circle is replaced by a parenthesis that's open to the right. Remember, the parenthesis is going to open in the direction of the shaded area. Negative 2 is the starting point of our interval. Because we're shaded to the right, we know the numbers are getting bigger. This shows me that I can write x is greater than negative 2 as parenthesis, negative 2, comma, infinity, parenthesis. In our next example, we have x is less than or equal to 4. On the graph, we know we represent the less than or equal to with a closed dot to show that 4 is one of the possible solutions. In an interval, the closed dot becomes a square bracket. The bracket's going to face the direction of the shaded area. Our numbers are coming from the left, which is negative infinity, and then we have a hard stop when we get to 4, and we show that hard stop by putting a square bracket. If we change that over and look at greater than or equal to, we can see again that we have a closed dot. X greater than or equal to 7 has the closed dot at 7 and then shading to the right. Once again, I'll turn that closed dot into a square bracket, but the bracket's going to face the right, which is where the shading occurs. Then as an interval, I'm going to write a square bracket, 7, comma, infinity. Let me point out a few reminders that are super important as you're doing interval notation. The first is we will never have a square bracket next to an infinity or a negative infinity. We can't include infinity because it doesn't stop. We will always have parentheses on both sides of a strict inequality. So if I have just greater than or just less than, I know that my interval is going to have a parenthesis on both sides. When we have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, we will have a bracket on one side of the parenthesis. The bracket will always be next to the number, and again, it will never be next to the infinity or negative infinity.